Going beyond the headlines now with Special Assignment. Tearing down a monument to nuclear power. For the past several years, the Connecticut Yankee nuclear power plant in Haddam Neck has been out of sight and out of mind.
But during that time, the plant has been a beehive of activity: demolition, decontamination, decommissioning. But just how do you erase a nuclear power plant? What about the contamination? Our cameras are the first inside the plant since it closed almost 10 years ago. Tonight, Fox 61's Simon Gutierrez has some news about the future of the site.
Piece by piece, it's coming apart. The Connecticut Yankee nuclear power plant being torn down from the inside out.
What we're doing right now is we're preparing for the final demolition activities and clean out of a few of the buildings on site, like the large containment building in the background.
Connecticut Yankee closed down in 1996 after 28 years producing nuclear power. Since then, the plant has been in the intricate process of being decommissioned.
Being able to demonstrate to the public that we have completed our activities on site and that the site is in fact clean and ready for unrestricted use.
That sounds easier than it is. While some parts of the plant are ready for demolition,
you can see here the switches that the operators used to use in order to run the plant.
Others are not.
This is the radiation control area over there.
Parts of the plant still have noticeable levels of radiation. In fact, to get into this part of the plant, we had to wear 2 different radiation detectors. And on the way out, you have to step into this machine to see how much radiation you've picked up.
There are verification that when you leave the radiological controlled area, you're not taking any radioactive material home with you.
One of the most contaminated parts of the plant is here inside the concrete dome that once held the reactor itself.
In this building, what is still radioactive? What are you guys still cleaning up?
We have piping systems inside of here. We also have some small heat exchangers that have to be removed as part of the decommissioning activities, and really even some of the floors and the walls.
In these parts of the plant, workers have to wear special protective clothing: coveralls, gloves, and in some areas, respirators.
My goal is to make sure that workers at the site get the lowest amount of exposure that they absolutely need to get to perform their job activities.
Once the buildings and machinery are cleaned, they will be cut into pieces and shipped in a special container to a low-level nuclear waste dump, much like the reactor vessel was back in December. But the most hazardous materials on the plant will actually stay for at least another decade.
The fuel itself will be staying here for quite some time, yes?
Unfortunately, I think you're correct there.
This building behind the familiar concrete dome holds more than 1,000 spent fuel assemblies filled with highly radioactive uranium.
Right now, they're stored in racks underneath water inside that in a very large swimming pool, if you will.
As seen in this video from the decommissioning of the Yankee Row plant in Massachusetts, those fuel assemblies will be transferred to dry storage casks, each about the size of a small SUV. Once inside, the fuel will be trucked to another part of the site for long-term storage. That means even after the rest of the plant is gone, a security force will stay on to stand guard, possibly until the year 2020.
The on-site concern is making sure that we maintain it in a secure facility such that it is protected from anything that could happen to it.
As for the rest of the site, Connecticut Yankee hopes to have demolition finished by 2006 and the decommissioning process completed the year after. The company will need a stamp of approval from both the Nuclear Regulatory Commission and the state DEP.
We'll be sampling soil. We'll be taking radiation level readings. We always continue to monitor the water around the plant, the environment of the plant, groundwater.
Once the 15-acre plant site is considered clean, the company hopes to donate it for public use, along with the 550 acres of forest land it owns around the plant. The biggest chunk would likely become a natural area, the smaller portion possibly another power plant. In the meantime, demolition and decontamination moves slowly forward, a long chapter in Connecticut's history gradually coming to an end.
We want people to remember us for the power that we produced safely over the years that we operated, and also we want a legacy of people understanding and recognizing that we did a good job of cleaning up.
On special assignment in Haddam Neck, Simon Gutierrez, Fox 61 News at 10.